T1F Station Identification, repeaters, third-party communications, club stations, and FCC inspection. 11 questions. When must the station licensee make the station and the station records available for inspection? B. Anytime upon request by an FCC representative. You must make your station and records available for inspection at any time upon request by an FCC representative. No prior written notice, warrant, or waiting period is required. As a federal licensee, your station is subject to FCC oversight at any time. How often must you identify with your FCC assigned call sign when using tactical call signs such as race headquarters? C. At least every 10 minutes during and at the end of communication. Even when using tactical call signs, you must still transmit your FCC assigned call sign at least every 10 minutes during a communication and at the end of each communication. Tactical identifiers are convenient but never replace the legal ID requirement. When are you required to transmit your assigned call sign? D. At least every 10 minutes during and at the end of a communication. Per 97.119, you must transmit your call sign at least every 10 minutes during a communication and at the end of each communication. Note, it is not required at the beginning, only during every 10 minutes and at the end. What language may you use for identification when operating in a phone subband? B. English. When identifying by phone or voice, you must use the English language. This ensures that your identification can be understood by the operators and by the FCC monitoring stations within the United States. What method of call sign identification is required for a station transmitting phone signals? A. Send the call sign using CW or phone emissions. A station transmitting phone signals must identify using CW or Morse code or phone voice emissions. You can say your call sign or send it in Morse code. Digital text identification is not sufficient for phone mode operation. Which of the following self-assigned indicators are acceptable when using a phone transmission? D. All of these are correct. All three are acceptable ways to verbally indicate self-assigned location indicator. You could say stroke, slant, or slash to separate your call sign from the indicator. Example, when operating from a different call district. Which of the following restrictions apply when a non-licensed person is allowed to speak to a foreign station using a station under the control of a licensed amateur operator? A. The foreign station must be in a country with which the U.S. has a third-party agreement. When allowing a non-licensed person to communicate third-party traffic with a foreign station, the foreign station must be in a country that has a third-party agreement with the United States. Not all countries permit third-party traffic. What is the definition of third-party communications? A. A message from a control operator to another amateur station control operator on behalf of another person. Third-party communication is a message sent from a control operator to another amateur station control operator on behalf of another person, the third party. The third party is the person who is not a control operator but whose message is being relayed. What type of amateur station simultaneously retransmits the signal of another amateur station on a different channel or channels? C. Repeater station. A repeater station simultaneously retransmits signals on a different channel. It receives on one frequency, the input, and simultaneously retransmits on another frequency, the output, extending the range of communication. Who is accountable if a repeater inadvertently retransmits communications that violate the FCC rules? B. The control operator of the originating station. The control operator of the originating station is accountable for the content of their transmissions, even when those transmissions are retransmitted through a repeater. The repeater owner-operator is not held responsible for content originated by others. Which of the following is a requirement for the issuance of a club station license grant? A. The club must have at least 4 members. A club station license requires that the club to have at least 4 members. The club must also have a name, a document of organization, management, and a primary purpose devoted to amateur radio activities. ARRL registration is not required. Key takeaways: T1F Station Identification. Identify at least every 10 minutes during and at the end of each communication. Tactical call signs like race headquarters never replace the FCC call sign requirement. English is required for phone or voice identification. Third-party traffic with foreign stations requires a third-party agreement with that country. Repeater operators are not accountable for content originated by others, and club stations require at least 4 members. Your station must be available for FCC inspection at any time.